Hello, everybody. It's Trisha Lee. I'm here with my awesome business partner, extraordinaire, inventor, innovator, the esteemed Larry Lever. And I'm Trisha Lee. And we're both here in Canada, and we're working on some of our very own patent pending disruptive technology. And tonight, we're talking about disruptive technologies throughout history. So I'm super excited about that because the first most disruptive technology that I think mankind really ever experienced was probably their relationship and use of the horse, which is, if you know me at all, you know that that's like my number one biggest passion in life. I wake up bright and early every day to be with horses, care for horses, ride horses, and I absolutely love it. And I definitely feel that horses are they're the one member of the animal kingdom that has served humanity more than any other creature that has ever shared this planet with us. So when the first Native Americans or the first Europeans were able to mount a steed, as they say, that would have been a huge disruption to the culture, because all of a sudden people didn't have to run around places or walk um, to their destination or carry stuff. And once farming started to, like, agriculture, organized agriculture gained popularity, horses were initially indispensable to that. You got background noise, or Larry, can you just mute until you're talking? Were indispensable to humanity and their ability to move around. And so obviously a lot has changed in the day when the first horses would have been tamed by man. It's still, even using a horse, it still would have took a long time to journey places that basically nowadays were, because of more disruptive technology that came much more recently, like commercial airline. We are less than 24 hours from absolutely anywhere in the planet. And then when you move on through to probably to, as far as travel goes for disruptive technology, like being able to travel to the moon and out into space is absolutely that was a disruptive technology at the time. And just like anybody involved with any disruptive technology, and what we are experiencing with our own company is that there are a lot of people out there that say it cannot be done, it will not be done, it is impossible, you're wasting your time, yada yada yada. And so Larry has been studying Think and Grow Rich, and he was telling me a couple of stories about, I believe it was Henry Ford and Marconi, and what their experience was with their disruptive technology. So you want which was, of course, like 100 years ago. So we've come a long way. But do you want to tell people a little bit of the history of what Henry Ford and Marconi went through when they started bringing their disruptive technology to the world?
In regards to Marconi, or our technologies like Marconi?
No, that's not what I said. I said, do you want to tell the story of Henry Ford and Marconi and their disruptive technology, and what you think the effect has been on the world, and just basically the story of what happened to them when they were doing what they did, and what people said about them, etc., that kind of thing. Not how it compares to ours, just how it affected the world in history.
Right. Well, essentially, there was no such thing as radio before Marconi showed up. There was no such thing as cell phones, televisions, um, any kind of wireless device did not exist before Marconi. And he basically came up with that. And I know when, as he said, when he proposed what he had come up with for an idea, and he told his friends had him locked up in a mental institution pretty much because they thought he must be hearing voices or something like that. And they put him into custody. And regarding Henry Ford, really, that was a huge development for a disruptive technology for the entire world. It was a great thing that Henry Ford came up with, the automobile, pretty much put all the wagon wheel and covered wagon businesses out of business. Well, not so much out of business. They faded away because there was no real use for horse and buggy once people started buying the car. Also, he also created a need for fuel, gasoline and oil, to go into a car. As far as how that disrupted technologies, I think it just opened the door for that market of technology more than anything. So it gave to fire up a car, you needed gas, and so that had to come from a new industry, which has now basically become the new gold of the world. Everybody is in a desire to have oil and gas mainly for motor vehicles. So now we're entering a new phase, as we'll see the end of the gas-powered automobile, then we'll be switching to more solar-powered machines like electric cars that can store solar power in their batteries and move people around. So those would be the first two disruptive tech.
You got a lot of background noise happening over there. There was, what was I going to say? Sorry, I did this a lot yesterday. I kind of have to apologize that you have good days and bad days, and yesterday was, I didn't quite feel like my thoughts were organized for the hangout yesterday, and maybe it's the same today. We've had a lot of forest fires burning in Alberta, Canada, and I think the smoke is maybe affecting my brain a little bit. I usually, I don't remember the last time I had a headache, but the last couple of days I've had a couple of headaches. So I think it might have something to do with the smoke. There's kind of haze in the air. So anyway, not good. Smoking is really bad for you, even forest fire smoke. So anyway, anyway, I feel like my thoughts aren't all that clear. But anyway, so I was thinking about the history before Henry Ford came on the scene. The steam engine was a huge disruptive technology, and I'm sure, I don't know too much about the history of it, but I'm sure that there were people that did not believe in the vision of the locomotive, and look at us now. We have amazing high-speed rail for passengers, people. We got to witness that in Germany, and it's phenomenal how quickly they move around in Europe with trains. We have a little bit of transit in our large cities. However, in Germany, it's like in Europe, the whole place goes that way. So definitely transportation has been a huge technology that has been disrupted in a big way on many, many occasions, from horse to the advent of the locomotive, and then to internal combustion, and then to commercial airlines, and then to rocket ships to space. So it's absolutely amazing. The disruptive technology that we're in has also, which is the energy sector, has also gone through major I remember I watched in some documentary where they were talking about, I can't remember the guy's name, but they were talking about how he turned some part of the oil product that they had been pumping out of the ground, was able to turn it into gasoline. And when they were in their workspace doing this, the people that were involved with the discovery of usable petrol for the automotives, it was like very tense situation. They were either going to blow that building up, or they were going to make what we call today gasoline. And luckily, they made what we now call gasoline. At the time, though, in this show that I watched, it was very, very stressful situation. It was a high pressure kind of do or die situation, literally, because and I'm sure that there was people all around that were like, "You're gonna blow yourselves up. What are you guys doing? Like, just cut it out." But they persisted, and because of that, we now burn tons of fossil fuels. And like Larry commented, our whole economy is based on petroleum, and because we use it for transportation. So energy and transportation have always been very hand in hand, as well as when you talk about guys like Thomas Edison and stuff, like his ability to create the light bulb. Like, a lot of people believe that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but he didn't really invent the light bulb. But he invented the incandescent bulb that we used for nearly 100 years that lasted for 8 hours, because there was light bulbs before. And then Edison came along and he said, this light bulb thing could be a really great thing for humanity. The ones that they had, though, would like burn out within a few seconds or a few minutes. And so it was never a commercial product that people would want to buy, because you'd have to be changing your light bulb like every 5 minutes. Nobody would want to do that. And so Thomas Edison had to go through like they say 5,000, that might be exaggerating, but they say 5,000 attempts before he was able to make a light bulb that lasted long enough that people would actually want to use it. And so that completely illuminated our lives. Like, I can't imagine trying to run this hangout around a campfire. Like, it would be really, or with an oil lamp. Yeah, it's just amazing how far we've come. And so with energy, it's like it also ties into what Thomas Edison did with the light bulb. And so there's been all kinds of different stuff since they kind of around the time that they started using. I guess it kind of had its own path that it took, because initially the steam engines were using coal, just like even today we have tons of power plants that burn coal, and it has been throughout history rather simple and inexpensive. However, I do believe that that coal is becoming more difficult to source, and the mining process has always been quite expensive and laborsome, so I think the price has increased. However, coal is still relatively cheap, and so the main motivation for getting off coal as a source of electricity is the pollution that it creates. And so coal's been around for a really, really long time. It's been an invaluable resource to humans. However, I think that we are at one of the most revolutionary stages in human history today. I believe that today things are moving faster than ever, and the technology, it's hard to even keep up to the technology that is happening out there in the world. It's absolutely amazing. And so from coal, they were able to move into, not sure what would have been next on that path, but there's been, I think probably hydroelectric dams were the next big source of electricity for humanity, and then some nuclear power plants have provided us with our energy. And so we have become so dependent on this energy, and there's all of these energies as they came into existence. I think at the time that they started in history, they were considered disruptive, because when people started burning coal to make steam, I'm sure there was people that had thriving businesses that did like the stagecoaches and the Pony Express and those kind of infrastructure that used to exist for humanity. Those people are like this. I'm sure the guys that built the railroads were told that, oh, it's a terrible idea. It's going to be too expensive. It's going to be too difficult. Where will you find the workforce? There's no infrastructure for what you're doing, da 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 da. I'm sure they heard all that, and now we have these amazing rail systems all over the world. And then going into the hydroelectric dams, I'm sure that there was people that saw the plans for that thought that's crazy. Because if you've been to like the Hoover Dam or any of them, they are freaking crazy. The size, and to think of the manpower that it must have took to build that thing, especially I think it was back in the 40s or 50s that they put it together. It's like amazing that such a, like just a marvel, an absolute marvel. And so, and then when you look at the nuclear power, like it's still kind of viewed as a disruptive technology in a lot of places. I know that they tried to bring a nuclear power plant into Alberta, and because Alberta is so oil and gas rich, it was pretty well rejected by everyone because people focused on the pitfalls of difficult to deal with nuclear waste, radioactive leaks, et cetera, and so we don't have a nuclear power plant here, but in Ontario they do, and I'm sure that it was very disruptive when they put those power plants in Ontario, because Ontario has, and still does, I'm sure, has vast caches of coal. And so I'm sure that some of the coal mines and stuff were shut down, and some of their coal-fired power plants may have gone offline. They may not have. I don't exactly know, but I know that whenever something new, whether it's in the energy sector or the transportation sector, there's always people that will resist the change, and so that's where the whole idea of disruptive technology comes from. Like if you get really technical about it, I think that all technology is disruptive, because what is technology? Technology is the new ideas, the new products, the new way of doing things, the new parts, it's new stuff. So technology is a word that's almost synonymous with change. Like really, when you say technology, people right away are thinking about the changes that have happened. They think about the advent of cell phones and how that's changed our culture, so that people don't even really answer the phone anymore unless it's the caller ID tells them that it's somebody that they really want to talk to. And then, I know even for myself, I get calls and I see who it is, and a lot of times it's people that I know, but I just don't feel like talking to anybody, and so I don't answer the phone. Whereas when it was a landline phone system, for a long time there was party lines in the country. You had to share your phone line with your neighbors, and then before caller ID, people always answered their phone and were excited to get phone calls, and there was far less telemarketing. Like very seldom did you get a call from a salesman, because in those days salesmen went door to door. So just the advent of cell phones and something like caller ID, that change has disrupted how we communicate on the telephone. And so every little bit of technology that comes into existence from someone's idea and they turn it into a usable product or service, whenever that happens, it changes the marketplace, it changes the culture, it changes how we do things, how we see things. And the technology, in my view, has just been progressing faster and faster. The pace, it just keeps increasing. And so it's super exciting to imagine how different things will be in how short of a time. Kind of an unknown, but there's no limit to what can be imagined for the future, because if you look back at the time when Henry Ford got started building his horseless carriage, is what they referred to it as. People were like, oh, Henry, don't waste your time on that contraption. And all his friends and family wanted him to give up and quit, except his wife, I guess. His wife supported him and kept him going. And man, was that ever a good decision. I bet she was grateful every day that she didn't give up on him, because I think that they managed to create quite a comfortable life for themselves and their family. So it definitely is important to at least keep one person close to you that is supportive when you're taking on something like this, because people throughout history, and especially now, are very resistant to change, and they are. It's more of a mental thing, because mentally they're resistant to the change that new technology brings, but as soon as they're exposed to it, the resistance melts away so quickly, because almost all the technology that exists out there, I think that they say that necessity is the mother of invention, but my opinion is that laziness is the mother of invention, because almost every single technology that has ever been brought into reality for humanity has been things to make our lives simpler, to make life easier, because we are instinctually lazy. And I see it even with like the horses that I work with. If they're given a choice, they will just like hang around and not do a bunch of running around or whatever. Like some of the horses are separated and segregated, so they're not with other horses. So they pretty much just go from their food to their water, from their food to their water. But other horses that are out in the pasture in a herd setting, they actually will have to, they're forced to run around and get exercise, because the other horses are chasing them, or they're fighting, or they're doing their whatever their horse culture stuff is. But if they're alone and they're not put in that social situation with other horses, they're pretty lazy. And I think that like other animals are like that too. Like I notice every time we run out of cat food at the barn, I'll see the cats bringing in mice and birds, and they're out hunting. But when there is cat food, I don't know that they do a lot of hunting. I don't see it. I don't see them bringing. It's every time that cat food bag is empty, and the day or two goes by where it hasn't been refilled, they start bringing in mice and birds. And I'm pretty sure that when there's a full bowl of cat food, they just lay there and sleep, from what I've seen. So it's kind of a thing that goes across all species, really, is that, yeah, given the opportunity, we would choose to relax. So people have literally worked their tushies off in order to create something that will enable them to relax and not have to work so hard and be lazy, such as washing machines or et cetera, et cetera. What do you think, Larry, about disruptive technology throughout history?
Wow, you seem to have covered quite a bit of it. Uh, I was thinking along the lines of how Google, when we're talking about just what we're doing right now with this Google Hangout, how Google has also changed the landscape as far as um, hey Tavan, how's it going? Google has changed the landscape as far as disruptive technology. They've really given Microsoft a run for their money because Microsoft has always been in the business of operating systems and all their different types of platforms. And now with Google, now Google's gotten into the game and they're offering their own operating system, which is news to me. It might not be news, but I was really surprised to see that there was an actual option for people with PCs and laptops, is that they could actually use a different operating system. And so when I looked at it, it's a little bit different from the Microsoft stuff, but it seems like it's generally user-friendly and probably really adaptable for anybody who wants to change operating systems. And I don't know how many years it's been going that Microsoft has been building their monopoly, but it's really nice to see that there's a choice available with this new disruptive technology from Google. It's good to see, actually. And that's the only one that's really kind of come to my mind, other than our own disruptive technology with the solar heat collector and the standard of that industry, solar power. I think there's other disruptive technologies that are coming on stream. Another one that comes to my mind as far as energy goes is the hydrogen cars that are or hydrogen technology that's being developed in, I think it's in Burnaby, BC, in Canada, and it's another type of alternative power using hydrogen. I don't know. I haven't heard a lot on what they've been doing lately, but I know they had some buses that were running on hydrogen rather than electricity. So there's a lot of things going on as far as disruptive technology, and yeah, just look around. It's in the medical industry. They've got new things coming out for dealing with diabetes and other health conditions. So there's a lot of different disruptive technologies coming available for society to look at and use.
Yeah, I totally think that it's one of the most exciting times to be alive that ever existed throughout space, for sure. There's so much stuff going on that it can be really overwhelming. So the thing is that I guess the thing to focus on is that if your disruptive technology really has to be solving a problem to be accepted by humanity, to get customers interested in what you're doing, to get people supporting your idea, it has to be solving some kind of problem. So I see some of the biggest opportunities for people I think there's a huge opportunity for helping people to connect to each other, which Google Plus is kind of providing a platform for that. And I think anybody that is not utilizing Hangouts for their business is really missing out, because something that people are longing for and lacking in society today, the problem that people have is that with our fast-paced world, there's it's difficult to really connect with people. Like you go to, you can still you can connect to people easier than ever on one level, but to get that deeper level of connection where you actually feel like you're getting to know somebody and feeling a rapport with them, it's getting more difficult because of the technology. Like you can go out to a restaurant and you'll see young people in that restaurant that they've got their heads down and they're looking at their phone and they're supposed to be having dinner together. Like I've seen couples doing that and I'm like, that's a weird kind of date night to have. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in the dating scene that much. Kind of out of touch with that. Been so focused on business endeavors, and so. But I see other people, and so I think that that is a problem that creates an opportunity. And so the problem is that we can connect with people all over the world, and we can have thousands of friends on Facebook. But how often do you really get to sit down and have a genuine conversation like the one we're having here, where you get to share ideas and learn from each other and share your failures and your successes presented in a way that other people can find useful to duplicate your results or whatever it is that you're trying to do. There's always lessons that we can learn from one another. However, when we're only dealing on this surface level of connection where it's like, hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm good, and I hope you're good, and there's no, well, this is what's really going on. I'm feeling overwhelmed by all of this new technology and how quickly everything is moving, and the people I talk to don't even know what it is and don't understand, and I invite them to the hangout and they're not sure that somehow appearing live on Google that's going to be on YouTube, somehow that's going to come back and bite them in the butt in the future, so they're very hesitant. I don't know if I want my face on camera on this stuff. It's new to me, it's foreign to me, I'm not used to it, I don't understand it. And so I had a bunch of people that say that they want to be involved, and I've sent them the link to join the hangout, and I don't even think they watched it, let alone joined it, and they're telling me that they don't know how to do it and asking me if I have Skype. And I'm like, people don't understand. It's like Skype costs money. This is free, and it's just as good, if not better, than Skype. Like, they're telling me that my link's no good, but when I test it, it's good. It's just they're I guess maybe a little intimidated by the newness of the technology, and so I don't know what they're doing actually, because I test the link and it works fine, but they're telling me no, it doesn't work for me, and I'm going, well, if you're chatting with me on Facebook, then obviously you should be able to click the link and get on a Google Hangout. Like, they're doing something. They're not clicking the link, or I don't know, they're just, and I'm wondering why they're not doing that. And so I don't really know what's going on there, but what I feel is that, it's this surface connection that's going on with these people, and they're feeling they're adverse, or they're hesitant about connecting on that deeper level. Because I think that the younger generation that has not experienced life without the internet really hasn't had that very many opportunities to connect with people on a deeper level outside their families. Because, like, I know for my kids, when they go out to play with their friends, it's not like when I went to play with my friends. When I went to play with my friends, we were, like, riding bikes and playing dolls and cars or whatever kind of thing. When my kids go to play with their friends, they're playing video games. I don't know. So I think that, yeah, they're just having this surface connection. That's all their experience is being. They aren't getting to connect on a deeper level. So that, my friends, is an opportunity. If you can create some sort of platform, and I think that's kind of what we're trying to do here, where we're using the Google Plus platform, but we're using it for our specific purpose. So if you can create communities like what we're going to be doing here, is having a whole community of people that are getting the opportunity to use the Google Plus technology to be able to make that connection on a deeper level. So whatever basically the opportunity is start your own hangout, have the topic be whatever it is you're most passionate about, whatever it is you love talking about the most, and start building a community of people that are interested in that same topic where they can make a deeper connection. And I think that's a huge opportunity for everyone on the planet to be able to do that. And so it's funny because it's because of Project AWOL and their training that I'm even thinking this way, because I was definitely not that long ago one of these people that was totally felt like, I don't want to be on Facebook, I don't want to be on Google, I don't really know what it is, I don't understand it, I don't like it. It seems, to me, before I really started exploring the internet, it seemed to me very cold, and it seemed to me very kind of phony. And once I started diving in, I realized the potential to actually create deeper relationships with people, not just in my community that I get to be tactilely interacting with, but people all over the world. And with the power of this particular platform, people really do get to know you on that deeper level, because they get to see how you look, they get to hear how you speak, how you move, and you're just missing that one element of touch. But other than that, you really are able to create that deeper connection. And I think that people all over the world are longing for that. And so that's just a huge opportunity. And in the past, people had much simpler technology to be able to make those connections. I think of the printing press was a huge disruptive technology that changed the way people could connect to each other, because all of a sudden they could read the same books, and then they could make that deeper connection of, or reading the newspaper, they can make that connection of talking about the ideas that they read about. A great example would be when they started printing the Bible. People went to church and read the Bible, and I think a vast majority of them did it more as a way to connect with other human beings on a deeper level than it was spiritual. Like, 'cause I know from I'm not a big religious person, but from my experiences with church, I definitely get more value out of the connection to the other people at the church than necessarily what the sermon is from a pulpit. So we've gone away from that in society, where, at least in our culture in North America, where a lot of the church communities have shrunk, and some have even died right out. Like, I've seen in recent years, I've seen a lot of churches up for sale, and people will buy them and renovate them and live in them as a house, where they used to have congregations of, dozens or hundreds possibly of people that used to go there and worship, and that whole culture has kind of dwindled away. And so, yeah, that it's created this kind of gap where people are looking for that kind of human connection that used to occur in a church setting, and now they're able to find it on the internet. So that's a huge opportunity to for anyone And it's a big new disruptive technology that has evolved throughout history from what began with people sitting around a campfire telling stories. And that still happens today, and that's kind of where it started from. So it's like, as these new technologies come on board, sometimes we got to look at the old technology and make sure that we keep the value that they provided moving forward. Like if the drawbacks and the trouble with old technologies, we can improve the old technologies moving forward. So there's something else I was thinking about in regards to the history of technology, and it kind of slipped my mind. But yeah, definitely, like if you look at what Marconi did with being able to send sound waves and later picture waves through the ether rather than through wires, that has totally affected almost everything that we do. It started off with the radio, which again provided information that when people met in person, they had listened to these same radio programs and broadcasts, and so they had something to communicate and connect with other people on. And then it moved into TV, and oh my gosh, that took over. Like, I've sat through conversations with people recently where they talked for literally an hour. I'm a little blown away that I sat there and listened to it. I was working on my computer as I was listening, though, but I was listening to a conversation with some gentlemen that I know, and for literally an hour, they sat and they discussed shows that they had watched on TV, the characters on those shows on TV, what they thought about the show, what they liked about the show, what they didn't like about the show. And I'm like, really? And I know with my mom and my sister, I've been sitting there and I kind of came into a conversation that was in progress, and I came and sat down. I was listening to them talking, and I was like, "What are you guys talking about?" And it turned out they were talking about some characters off of TV, and I was like, "Wow," because the conversation really sounded like they were discussing people that they actually knew. Like, I thought they were talking about like their neighbors or somebody that they actually knew, but no, they were actually discussing at length characters on a television show. So television has totally caused people to disconnect from that deeper level connection. Like, I think about how superficial those conversations are about TV shows, talking about the TV show, and or movies, and I'm kind of scratching my head. Like, yeah, it's good to have entertainment and be entertained by it, but I definitely want to participate in conversations that have a little bit more depth. And I think that most people deep down do. I think that they just they haven't been exposing themselves to the kind of material that creates the thought that can give the ability to have those deeper level conversations. Like, you know, if you're just feeding your mind with what's on TV, what else do you have to talk about? So luckily I don't have a TV. Well, I have one, but I don't have any cable or satellite or anything hooked up to it. So you can plug a DVD player into it and watch a movie. But for as far as network television, I don't have any way to do that right now. I don't feel that is valuable enough for me to pay for. I can't justify paying for that. So, and then now we have the internet and things like Skype calling and these Google Hangouts, where once again we can go back to kind of like what happened with the fireside chats that used to go on, where people used to sit around a campfire and discuss ideas and have thoughtful conversation. And so it's super exciting to be in this time where now we can have those deep level conversations with not just the people in our immediate community, but with people all over the globe. And I think deep down, we are connected. A lot of times on the surface, we don't feel that connection, but it's always there. Each and every person that exists on this planet has a desire deep within themselves to make a better life for themselves, for for their family, for the environment, or for whatever it is. Every single person has that desire. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the societal ideas that we lose sight of the fact that we are all connected, and the fact that we all have not only the desire, but the ability to affect change in a way that can improve the lives of not only ourselves and our own families, but other people, animals, plants, all over our planet, and potentially beyond to into the solar system and the galaxy, etc., etc. And I think that we're kind of very easily fooled into this belief that we aren't able to make a difference, or that our opinion, our voice, our ideas don't matter, but they really do. Each person has equal potential for greatness. However, in order to achieve that greatness, I'm singing. I can hear you. Are you singing?
Who?
I love that.
That's not me.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I made a video the other day about singing. But anyway, what did you have anything to add, Larry?
Not really. Sorry, I had to take that call there. It was Hassan. I think you really covered quite a bit of it, and I think you did a really good job on the disruptive technologies that are connected to the internet. Especially, it's for over the past 20 years of just having the internet available to the general public. It's just mind blowing to me that it's only been 20 years. So yeah, the probably the most disruptive technology ever really is the internet, because it used to be computers, and then when all of a sudden the internet came along, and boom, we're talking to people all over the world and doing business with the whole world. And I tried to imagine doing something like that 20 years ago, and it would take a lot of effort. And today, it's a click of the mouse.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's all about, like, seriously, there's opportunity around every corner, and you can make it happen, whatever it is, whatever your dream is, you can make it happen. And there's opportunity around every corner, and it's easier than ever to be able to take an idea, put it out there, find other people that support it, and just make it happen. So with the internet, anybody that is not building their business using tools like Google Hangouts or YouTube or Facebook, LinkedIn, all of these amazing websites that help you solve that problem of getting the deeper connection. And that's really important in business, because sales, a lot of what sales is the transfer of enthusiasm. And so using these tools, it's so easy to transfer your enthusiasm about a product, a service, idea, whatever it is that you want to put out there as value to the rest of the world. It's so easy to transfer that enthusiasm using these websites and the power of the internet. So definitely any person out there in the world that is not looking at trying to build some kind of business on the internet is totally missing out. And it doesn't really matter if you have a full-time job. You can just, in an hour a day, you can go to some of these websites and you can do a few things. You can find yourself an offer on like ClickBank or some other affiliate, anything that you love. You can just find it on the internet, tell people how much you love it, be an affiliate of that product, and sell it. It's so easy to transfer that enthusiasm to people all over the world. It's amazing. And it just keeps getting better and easier. And so the problems that exist on the planet right now, with things like these Google Hangouts and stuff like that, there's so much potential for solving them. Like, I can think of like a dozen different problems that exist on the planet that you could do a Google Hangout about that would really help people. Like human trafficking. If you could put together a Google Hangout about human trafficking, bring on people that have been victims or that have missing children or whatever to talk about, you know, this is what's going on. We need to find our kids, da 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 da. Put it out there. It goes viral. Millions of people see it, and you find your missing child. Like, there's an opportunity there. There's just like tons and tons of different problems that could be solved so much easier now that we have this technology at our fingertips.
Yeah, I was just wondering, before we go, I was wondering if Japan, I was going to ask Japan if he ended up finding a place to get a big screen TV. Does he have a microphone? Can you hear me, Japan? I don't think he has a headset or a microphone.
I think he's frozen. I could hear him before he was singing. Hello, Japan, can you hear us? I think he might be frozen. But
No.
we'll keep looking, and if worse comes to worse, we have a lot of them. So potentially we could ship one to him if that was necessary. But like I said, I'm sure it seems like they do things a bit different in India. They're not quite as much of a throwaway society as we are here. So from what we looked at, most of the TVs that have the lenses in India are for sale. So what Larry was saying earlier to Pan was that if you just keep trying to find recycle companies and ask them about these TVs, eventually you'll probably be able to find one. Someone has to be handling that. And it sounds like India does some good things with recycling, so it's not very likely that they are throwing those TVs in the landfill with the lead and other nasty components that we don't want in the landfill. You can ask him now, Larry.
Pardon me?
Oh, he's back on. You can ask him now if he contacted any of the...
Oh, Japan, I was just wondering if you found somewhere where you could get a big screen TV. I don't think he's hearing us.
Well, he shook his head, so... And yeah, from what we found is most of those big screen TVs in India are still working for sale.
Yeah, he can hear us.
You didn't find one yet?
Where I found the ones that I was looking for online in India was a place called Bangalore. It's a town called Bangalore where they seem to have a lot of big screen TVs.
Are you in Mumbai? Is that right? Where are you located, Japan?
I don't think he's got a microphone, but I think he can hear us.
So anyway, I guess as always, I got the coffee going, but I'm starting to feel a little bit sleepy. So I got to be up bright and early to go feed horses and do my fun work. So yeah, there's definitely been almost every technology is really a disruptive technology when you really boil it down. Because I think what technology really means is just anything that is new and innovative. And pretty much most of it disrupts somebody else's product or service by improving on it. That's kind of the name of the game, is solving problems and improving things. So when you're improving on stuff and solving problems, a lot of times it disrupts what other people have been doing for a really long time. Like the old wagon wheel builders or horseshoers and the blacksmiths that put horseshoes on and stuff. They are they don't have, it's not a growing industry anymore like it used to be. So that's kind of what happens with the new ideas for solving problems out there. So we'll be continuing tomorrow. I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but we'll come up with something in regards to disruptive technology to share with you all. And with that being said, I'm off to bed to get ready for a new day.
I would
Guys,
like
have
to
anything
talk
else to
about
add?
technology tomorrow.
What's that?
I would like to talk about the I mentioned to you today about trying to find things in the global world for a machine that's being made in North America. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, okay. Well, tomorrow Larry will be hosting our hangout on disruptive technology, and he will be talking to you about sourcing out parts when sometimes those parts don't even exist. That's his bag, so he can host that tomorrow. All right, so thanks everybody out there. Have a great day, and if I don't see you in the future, I will see you out in the pasture. That's where
See
I
you
will
later.
be. 6 a.m. Bye. Bye, Japan.
Bye to Pan's calendar.